and the Node Package Manager installed in your development environment. Node.js can be downloaded from www.nodejs.org, and the Node Package Manager is included in that install. For the lecture, I'm going to be working in macOS 10 with version 9.9.1 of Node.js. The process should be the same under Linux or Windows. I'm going to start by initializing a new Node project with the npm init-y command. This will create the Node modules folder in my project and create a default package.json file. The package.json file includes details about your Node program, including its name and its dependencies on other packages. The -y in this command tells Node Package Manager to use all the defaults in the file. Now that I have my project initialized, I can download Mocha Chai. To download and install Mocha into your project, you run npm install --save-dev Mocha. This tells the Node Package Manager to install the Mocha package into my project's Node modules directory, and to update the package.json file to list Mocha as a dependency for the development environment. Here you can see Mocha is now listed as a dev dependency in the project's package.json file. You can install packages globally on your system by using npm install -g and the package name. But best practice is to install the modules you need for a specific project locally in that project. For modules that are used in production, use the install command with the --save-prod parameter rather than save dev. To download and install Chai in your global Node.js modules directory, you simply use the command npm install --save-dev Chai. And now we see that Chai is also listed as a dev dependency in the project's package.json file. This project should now be ready to start implementing and running unit tests in my IDE. In the next lecture, I'll walk through setting up a Node.js project in the webstorm IDE to use Mocha and Chai. In this lecture, I'll walk through setting up a Node project in WebStorm to use Mocha and Chai with the built-in Mocha unit test runner. To follow along with this lecture, you'll need to have Node.js and the Node Package Manager installed on your system. You'll also need to have a recent version of WebStorm installed and Mocha and Chai installed in your project directory like we went through in the previous lecture. For the lecture, I'm going to be working in macOS 10 with WebStorm version 2018.1.5. First, I'm going to create a new empty project in WebStorm called Mocha Test in the project directory where I installed Mocha and Chai. WebStorm will tell me that there are already files in that directory, and I'll tell it yes when it asks if I want to create the project from existing sources. Now that I have the project set up, I'm going to add a test directory and a JavaScript source file and modify the code to add a simple unit test that should always fail. The unit test will use a simple expect statement with a hard-coded false. Looking at this code, I can see that the IDE doesn't know about the Mocha or Chai types. I also need to ensure that WebStorm has been configured to use my node interpreter correctly. To do this, I'll open the WebStorm Preferences dialog, and under Language and Frameworks, I'll click on Node.js and NPM. In that dialog, I'll verify the path to my node interpreter and npm are correct. I'll also enable Node.js coding assistance, which will ensure the WebStorm automatic code analysis will recognize the node types. Once that is done, I'll go to JavaScript and click on Libraries. I want to add the Mocha and Chai libraries by clicking the Download button and selecting each from the list. This downloads and installs type libraries to ensure the WebStorm code analysis recognizes the types for Mocha and Chai. Now I want to run this and see the yellow icon come up showing that my test is failing. WebStorm comes with a built-in test runner for Mocha. I'll need to set up a new configuration using that test runner to execute my tests. First, I'll bring up the configuration screen by clicking on Run and Edit Configurations. Then I'll add a new Mocha configuration and call it Mocha Tests. I'll verify it's using the correct node interpreter, uses my project as the working directory, and uses the Mocha library I installed in the project's node modules directory. Then I'll specify that it uses the test directory in my project, and then I'll run that new configuration and verify that I see the test fail. Great. I've got the yellow icon indicating my unit test is failing. Now I'll make a simple change to the expect statement to make the test pass and verify I see the icon go green. And we're all set. I've got a project in WebStorm using Mocha and Chai and a test runner showing me the green icon indicating that all my tests are passing. In the next lecture, we'll see how to set up Mocha and Chai to execute tests from the command line. In this lecture, I'm going to walk through installing a Mocha Test Explorer in Visual Studio Code, opening the Mocha Test project, and then executing my tests and seeing the result in the Test Explorer. To follow along with this lecture, you'll need to have a recent version of Node.js installed with the Node Package Manager, and then follow the steps from the last lecture to install Mocha and Chai. You'll also need to have Visual Studio Code installed. For this lecture, I'm using Visual Studio Code version 1.31.1. I'm going to be working in Mac OS X, but the process should be the same under Linux or Windows. First, I'm going to open Visual Studio Code and navigate to the Extensions window. In the search bar in the Extensions window, I'm going to type in Mocha and run that search. In the results that are returned, I'm going to click on Mocha Test Explorer extension and click on Install. After the install is complete, I'll go ahead and restart Visual Studio Code. After the restart, I'm going to go ahead and open up my Mocha test folder. By default, the Test Explorer extension will look for a test directory in the project. Now I'll open up the Test Explorer view by clicking on View and Open View, and then selecting Test. The Test Explorer will already have discovered my tests and list them in the Explorer. Now I can click the Run All Tests button to run all the unit tests that are found in the Explorer, show me which tests have passed and which have failed. I can also run the tests individually by clicking on the Run Test icon next to each individual test. I'll go ahead and update one of the tests so that it should fail and verify that the Test Explorer shows it failing. And it does. That completes this lecture on running your Node.js Mocha unit tests in Visual Studio Code. In the next section of the course, we'll learn more about the Mocha and Chai libraries. In this lecture, I'm going to walk through creating a test Node.js project with a Mocha test and running that test from the command line. To follow along with this lecture, you'll need to have a recent version of Node.js installed with the Node Package Manager, and then follow the steps from the previous lecture for installing Mocha and Chai. For the lecture, I'm going to be working in Mac OS X, but the process should be essentially the same under Linux or Windows. First, I'm going to create a new test project called Mocha Test, and I'll initialize it with npm. Then I'll install Mocha and Chai. Now that I have the project set up, I'll add a test directory and a mocha test.js JavaScript file. Then I'll add a simple unit test that should always fail. The unit test will use a simple expect statement with a hard-coded false. Now I want to run this via Mocha and verify Mocha reports the test failure. I'll need to use the Mocha binary that was installed in my project's node modules directory. Great. Mocha reports that the test is failing. Now I'll make a simple change to make the test pass and verify that Mocha reports it is passing. And we're all set. This simple process allows you to rapidly write and execute Mocha unit tests. That completes this section of the course. In the next